So in this series, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can animate and create 2D art for video games. Now there's a lot of different animation processes like creating art using vector and stuff. For me, I'm just going to, for this series, just create like more rasterized based images and use these. So here's my character in Photoshop, and what I'm going to do is I'll link this to a video of how to actually create characters using this sort of method and style, but essentially everything needs to be its own layer. Everything that moves, that can be animated, needs to be its own layer. Once you've done that, you want to just save it as a PSD. I've got mine hot dog guy, PSD, and press File, Import. Make sure when you import that you switch it to composition now from footage, and we can input that. Cool. We now have all these drop downs, so we've got all of our layers, or we can double click this composition where it already exists. And yeah, I've got a nice bit of space. Settings I might come back and mess with later on, but the image is 1028 by 2088. 5 seconds, it's probably a bit much. Maybe I'll just change it to like 3 seconds. And sometimes things can end up in the wrong layer order. I'm also going to change my background by clicking the little toggle button. And for the most part, things sort of seem fine in terms of layer ordering and stuff, but I might change those as we go in. You might need to sort of drag those around. So the first part is going to be the setup, and then once I've set it up, I'll probably just make a save as and work on this continuously. So let's set it up. And all we're pretty much going to do is we need to reset all our anchor points. So I'm just going to work from the bottom up. So this part, as you can see here, is my right arm. So I'm just going to press Y and move the anchor point to where its point of rotation should be. And then click on the next part, which is the next part of the arm, and move that to the point of rotation. And the reason we do this is, like, here we go, I've got my right hand. If I just were to rotate this now, you can see it rotates from the wrong point. But if I put my anchor point in the right place and rotate it, there you go, you can see it works. Another part while working with this framework that's always quite nice is with my right hand, you can see if I zoom in, we've now got this like little area that's not quite filled in very well, so I could always go back to my Photoshop and get my right hand. And let's just hide that, zoom in, get a brush, select that colour, and sort of give it a bit more of like a fade. Bring that back in. Oops. Clearly used too big of a brush there. I mean, I could probably actually just hidden the layer behind, but anyway, for this example, I can sort of extend it out a bit, give it a bit more sort of reach on the hand. Then when I bring that in, hit Ctrl S to save, and that should update. And you can see it sort of updated it, and now I've got a bit more room to sort of play with. And if I hide that underneath, there we go, there's less sort of blank space, which you don't want, so that's always quite nice. And again, you can see a bit of white here. I'm not going to fix everything right now, but I could always again just go back into my channel and just like fix that up, hit Ctrl S, come back in, and then that will fix. So that's again another nice thing about sort of like this framework and this way of working. So let's just continue going through and resetting all my anchor points. Did I set my hand? I did. You can always use the I if you're not sure which layer you're working on, but hopefully as you're working in Photoshop, you should have adopted a good naming process. Now I'm keyframing the mouth, but I probably don't need to do that because I'm not likely going to make the mouth rotate. But you know what? It's done while we're in the swing of setting it up. So we can also put one on the eyebrows, but I probably should have actually done the eyebrows separate so we could control each eyebrow individually. But other than that, that's all our rotation points set up, our anchor points. Then finally, the last thing we need to do is just wire everything up that should be connected. Ultimately, I think most things are going to come off the torso. So if you've not got a parent section, down, oh, in fact, we should have got a parent section. Sorry, I just have these expanded on mine. So basically we need to parent it, and what essentially that'll do is, if we look at our arm, for example, it means all the arm will be connected. So if I rotate this part of the arm, it should affect the hand. So let's figure this out. We'll go with the left leg. So we've got the foot, which is connected to the lower leg. So the left foot's connected to the lower leg. The left leg lower is connected to the upper. The upper is connected to the torso. And now if I rotate this, it brings the whole aspect with me. So we can do cool kicking things. So like I said, just work your way down, connect everything to what should be connected together. I think people should be connected to the right hand. Throwing papers don't need to connect to anything. For me, that's just a weapon. There's some bad naming here. Got two right arm ups. Press enter to rename. Change this one to upper. And that should be good. So upper's connected to the torso. The arm is connected to that. And the hand is connected to that. Cool. We got two things that are none, the torso, the throwing papers, and I think that should be about everything set up. It's always worth double checking this, but I think, like I say, that's the whole setup. We're now ready to start the animating process. So I'm just gonna save this as hot dog guy setup. What I'll probably do as well is, in case I need to come back to this point, I'm going to make a save as and change this to attack. So now I'm in hot dog guy setup attack, and I'm just going to use this version as his attack.